Craig Gross. Take a look at Craig. Craig's a preacher. Now, if you walked up to that guy in the street, you wouldn't say, that guy looks like a preacher. But he's a preacher, and he just doesn't do his thing at church. He goes to the big porn conventions, and if you watch porn or you've been a part of it, he wants to talk to you. Craig is here in a moment. First, though, the world of porn. Let's set it up. All right, so whether or not you're into it, you cannot deny that pornography is a huge part of our world. On the money side, well, it's just a multi-billion-dollar business made even more popular because of the internet. In fact, studies suggest that nearly 90% of men are likely to surf porn, compared to 15% of women. Of course, take those numbers with a grain of salt, because people lie about that stuff all the time. But here's a question. Is porn a problem? Well, it depends on who you ask. The porn industry says, look, they're just entertainment with consenting adults for consenting adults. But critics point to statistics like this. They say that every second, about 28,000 people are viewing porn online, and they say that that's degrading and that it hurts people's marriages.
Honey, I'm home.
Oh, and they also say that the average kid gets their first look at pornography at the age of 11. And that's where Pastor Craig Gross comes in.
You got to give up the sin. You got to give up the stronghold that's on your life to say, all right, God, I'm ready. I'm to be used.
Craig is the porn pastor. He created XXXchurch.com. It's a website with the slogan, #1 Christian porn site. No, he doesn't go on the pulpit and talk about how awesome porn is. No, he actually believes that porn hurts society. So what Craig does is travel to pornography conventions, college campuses, and churches across the United States, offering help to porn addicts and porn performers. And he does it in a variety of ways, including handing out Bibles like this one. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Craig Gross. Come on, man. All right? What's that book there?
This is the Jesus Loves Porn Star Bible.
Jesus Loves Porn Stars Bible.
They don't have that at most churches these days.
Yeah,
it's not the Pew Bible. But.
I find that hard to believe, young man. So the porn that you're talking about, is it the those who consume porn or those who are addicted to porn? Where are you focusing?
We're really trying to reach all those types of people, whether you consume porn, whether you look at porn, or if you're starring in porn. So I think we've got something to say to all three groups, because we found that the same conflict sometimes runs amongst those three categories.
Well, have you noticed themes? Like, what are the same? What's a conflict that would apply to all three?
I would say that whole thing is, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I meet a lot of porn stars that say, well, when I get that gig in Hollywood, or when I get a little bit older, then I'll get out. That kid that's in college, well, when I get married or I get the girlfriend, I'm for sure going to stop. And then there's the producers. Oh, I'd much rather do this. I can't be doing porn forever. Well,
that's the professional thing you can sort of see, because everybody in any industry, the grass is always greener, right? So they want to get out of whatever it is they're doing. The people who look, is it those who are addicted to porn, or those who just look at porn that you're focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, our website, obviously, you put 3 X's in front of anything online, you're going to get found. So we get a lot of people looking for porn. About 200,000 last month that just came and typed in XXX and found us, and they're probably disappointed to see our pictures. You know,
how many of them typed in XXX in church and we're hoping for some hot nun action and got you guys, you know?
Yeah, and so a lot of people, I mean, obviously, you search for things online and you find places. So we're helping people, some that are addicted, some that are just curious. Oftentimes people say, you know what, I'm looking for porn. They find out about us, and maybe they'll remember this years from now when they want to stop. So, you know, one of the signs of addiction is you can't stop. But most people I meet and deal with this topic of pornography, they don't say they're addicted. I mean, no one wants to raise their hand. I mean, in the audience, how many of you are addicted to porn?
Yeah, show of hands. Who's addicted to porn here?
All right, 4. But, you know, those 4 people, most of the people are in denial as far as, oh, no, I mean, I could stop. It doesn't. I talked to a guy, the driver, that drove me over to my hotel last night, told me he has 100 gigs of porn on his hard drive, but he's not addicted. 100 gigs?
Well, but he likes porn.
Yeah, he's a collector.
He's a collector, right. Yeah. Now, to you, where's that bad? Where people look at porn. I understand addiction of any kind can be complicated for anybody's life, but for people who look at porn and who enjoy porn, to you, where's the breakdown there?
Yeah, and I'm a Christian and obviously a pastor, and so from a biblical perspective, which a lot of people don't, you know, hold of those same beliefs, I'm going to say, hey, it's all bad. You know, Jesus says, don't even look at a woman with lust in your eyes, and so I'm going to try and talk to people that follow Christ and say, hey, let's stay away from it. From people that don't hold to those teachings of the Bible, that's where it maybe gets a little blurry, because people these days say, well, I'm not really into hardcore stuff. And we call a lot of the stuff that's out there today porn training wheels. And well, what I see, though, whether you're into hardcore, softcore, it's very progressive. And so to me, I haven't met a whole lot of people that just read Playboy for 40 years. I see a lot of people that start consuming porn. Eventually, this takes them to places offline, whether that's an affair, whether that's you know, a stripper, an escort, whether that is looking at...
I guess it comes down to different values, right? It's just like some people share the same values with your church's teachings and others don't. And I wonder if lots of people who think it's not bad to go to a strip joint, that there's nothing wrong with it in terms of morality. It's just a different value set.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, though, I mean, most people that consume porn, 76% of people watch porn all by themselves. Mm-hmm. So that,
well, there's a reason for that, Craig.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Sharing it with people is really awkward.
Well, actually, you know, a lot of the younger generation is watching it together. You know, the under 30 crowd is saying, hey, I'll watch this with my girlfriend, with my spouse. But so many people, when you're doing something in secret, oftentimes, I mean, you have the shame, you have the guilt, you're not proud of it. And so whether you believe it's wrong or right, it's a secret that you're not sharing with someone. And that oftentimes, when you bring that into a relationship, your wife or your husband has no clue you got 100 gigs of porn on your hard drive. You know,
you have to encrypt it, Craig. You have to encrypt. No, let me put it. Not that I should tell you that. Let me put it to you this way: is the problem with the pornography, or is it? And following on this train of thought, the idea of it's the Puritans in North America when they came over, and a lot of people think it's the conservative Christians who gave everybody an incredibly unhealthy view towards sex in the first place and treated sex like it was something to be ashamed of, where that's the problem. So the reason why pornography is the way it is and the more hardcore it is because a certain conservative element of our founding, you know, fathers and mothers in this country made sex something to be ashamed of, and that's where the breakdown begins. It's not the beauty of a naked person or a couple or 7 doing something. It's the other stuff. I mean, could it be that the problem goes back that far?
It could be, and oftentimes I hear that. I speak a lot at churches, and oftentimes people say to us, yeah, I mean, the church is always against this, against that, and we hate sex, we're anti-sex, and not at all. I mean, obviously the Bible and God's created sex to be a wonderful thing. I think, though, that the problem with pornography, it's a cheap substitute for that. And so you watch these things, you look at these images, you see them as ideal, and now you're going into a relationship or your sex life thinking, this is what my sex is going to be all about based on this porn. And what I see is that it's 2 separate things. This is fantasy.
Yeah.
This is reality.
But what if it's just fantasy?
The problem is when you're involved in a real relationship, though, that's harder because that's 2 people involved. Porn is just all about you and your needs. Oh, you like blondes, you like double this, you like, you know, group this. And so now you go over there. And now your wife, you're going, oh, that's kind of there's a hard time.
Yeah, there's no doubt that excessive porn use does complicate one's own view, you know, I guess, of their own reality. What I find really interesting about what you guys do is you would get more hate mail from Christians than you would from people in the porn industry.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we call ourselves XXXchurch.com, the #1 Christian porn site, just because there's not a number 2, so we just say we're the best. But the church, yeah, when we came out of the gates, I mean, we launched this whole entire ministry at a porn show. I think the church would rather us launch it at a church convention, but you know, Jesus says he came for the sick, not the healthy. And, I mean, you look at his ministry and what he did, the people that were always giving him a hard time were the religious folks. Yeah. We post our hate mail on our site because we find it quite fascinating sometimes. I mean, people want us to die. People just, and it's all these church folks that are saying, you guys have lost it. You guys have gotten too close to the porn industry. And I'm going, getting too close. You're not seeing us with a hooker. You're not seeing me, you know, in any of these videos. I'm not watching this stuff. But we're trying to befriend these people and not, I mean, these Bibles, we hand out 20,000 of these Bibles a year that say Jesus loves porn stars. We give them out at porn shows. Yeah. I don't see a problem with that, but oftentimes people go, oh, that's too dangerous.
How does the porn industry handle you? Like, when you, let's say you walk up, I know you're kind of hanging out with Ron Jeremy, you sort of know Ron. You see a porn star for the first time. Take me through how that works, where you walk up to them.
It's interesting. The thing I do love about the porn industry, I mean, they're against, obviously, censorship, but they're for the freedom of speech. And they don't want to be hypocrites. So for them to kick us out of their porn show, I mean, the church is known as being very hypocritical. The porn industry is saying, not only can you come back to our shows, at times we've gotten nonprofit discounts at porn shows. They're not Christian discounts, but, you know, they've allowed us to be there. And that's why I really find it, it's a privilege almost to be able to come back on these terms, not stand outside and act like idiots and hold signs and yell at people, tell them they're going to hell. Like, our parents and people have tried that. It doesn't work. You know, stay home for the weekend. So we go inside, and we're not like having a sign up saying, come over to our side, or posting a number, but it's one of those things where we've earned some trust over 6 years of doing this and going to the largest conventions. From, we were at the Toronto Everything to Do About Sex show. We'll be at the Miami show later in April.
Come by my booth, man. I have a...
and so they accept us, the fact that they realize a small little XXX church isn't going to take down a $70 billion industry. And so we're just trying to help people that want help. If you don't want anything to do with us, I mean, go on your way. But if we can reach you, if we can talk to you, if we can hand you a Bible, if we can talk to you about how you might leave the porn industry, those are things that
That's what I wonder. You know, some of the most effective drug and alcohol counselors I know are people who have had, at one point, problems in their life. And I wonder, like, they've dealt with their own addictions. And I wonder, within your ministry, and when you witnessed to these porn stars, do you have those who have come out from a previous life who are, because I imagine it would be harder to relate to them at first because you don't have the same experience the way an AA counselor or an NA counselor would have.
Yeah, and like in your opening, you talked about when we were younger, how we had to find porn. I was like 4, 6 in 8th grade, so I couldn't even reach up on that top shelf and grab the porn. But and so I don't have that crazy story, but over the years, we've helped people out of the industry. And so on our team, I mean, we have an ex-porn producer that's actually studying right now in seminary. His name's Donnie Pauling. He shot for 9 years. We have other females that have come out of the industry. And so we're able to reach some people with their peers, with their people that have kind of come out of this industry. And not all of us are like that. I mean, we have one counselor that's on our staff that's just a guy to, you know, look at things from that perspective. We have others that are parents that are saying, you know what, I'm going to talk to parents about educating their kids about this.
Please come back and talk more. There's more to get into. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Right on. Craig Gross, everybody. The website is XXXchurch.com, and they have a little Bible. Jesus loves porn stars. All right, up next, these guys.